Yo, this is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And our sponsors at Alpha Claims and Hire Birmingham, the leading and best accident management company. Get a replacement car anywhere in 1 hour. I really appreciate you joining me today, and this is an update coming from London. The first story is about a serving Metropolitan Police officer that has been jailed for grievous bodily harm. PC Charlie Harrison, 39 years old, who is attached to the Violent Crime Task Force, ironically committed a violent crime. He has been convicted by a majority verdict on Friday the 26th of March after a 5-day trial at Southwark Crown Court. PC Harrison was sentenced at the same court on the 12th of April to 2 years and 3 months in prison. The convictions relate to an incident that happened on the 31st of December 2018 at around 2:15. So this was New Year's Eve in 2018. A man in his 40s was walking with his children along Seabert Road, Forest Gate, in E7, so this is Newham. The man was approached by PC Harrison, who was on duty and in plain clothes, with the apparent intention of conducting a police stop. PC Harrison then used his foot to strike the man's leg, and this caused him to fall to the ground, and as a result, he suffered a fracture to his knee. The man was treated for his injuries at hospital, and he reported the incident to the Independent Office for Police Conduct in January of 2019. The IOPC decided the Metropolitan Police should investigate locally. An investigation was launched and PC Harrison was charged with GBH in August of 2019. Commander Paul Betts said, "This matter was subject to a thorough investigation by the Metropolitan Police, and he has been charged and later convicted by jury. His actions were found to have fallen below the standard of what we expect of police officers, and a man was left badly injured. This type of behaviour has no place in the police force and undermines the confidence in communities that we are here to protect. He will face separate disciplinary hearings in relation to them offences, so as of now he is still a police officer but suspended from duty." And what frustrates myself and personally I'm sure a lot of people is the fact that when these sort of cases happen, there is very little coverage. There is barely a paragraph about this in relation to the police statement. But if there's an incident, for example the other day, where a man spat at somebody, they managed to find that CCTV and release the information. And I'm sure that there was CCTV of this man assaulting somebody on a very busy street. But they do not release this information because there is less to the story and it won't make the mainstream papers. And this is definitely something we'll always highlight on the channel. As I've said to people before, in Birmingham we've covered a police officer that assaulted 3 people in 3 days, and he was caught on CCTV in every single incident. So it definitely goes to show that this is a problem that definitely needs to be monitored, especially as we look into America and we're seeing the recent violence with the latest murder of an unarmed man called Daunte Wright in Minneapolis, the same state that George Floyd was murdered, even 10 miles away. And police claim that the officer should have drawn a taser and not a firearm, but it was a mistake. There has been protests taking place in Minnesota due to this latest killing, and the family are devastated at this loss.
Oh, chill out so we can get justice for Daunte. Let's get justice for Daunte. Let's get justice for Daunte. Chill out, y'all. They wanna start some shit with us so Daunte don't get no justice. You gotta chill out. Where's his mama? Go get their mama. Debated. Hold the space. Hold the space. This is Daunte Wright's mother. Will y'all listen to her?
Will you guys please just stop? We want justice for Daunte. We don't want it to be about all of this violence. We just want justice for our son, and this is taken away from that, because now this is exactly what they want you guys to do, so that way my son isn't being heard. And I need that to... This is my husband.
Your son's being heard, sis. Your son's being heard.
This shit don't stop.
Your son's being heard. We're not playing about no baby.
Justice for Daunte, that's it.
Period.
We don't want all this extras. Let's get justice. We'll get justice for my son.
Justice for Daunte.
He was on his way to get a car wash. He was pulled over because he had air fresheners in the rearview mirror.
Car wash? How many of us get a car wash with air?
Oh, chill out so we can get justice for Daunte. Let's get justice for Daunte. Let's get justice for Daunte. Chill out, y'all. They wanna start some shit with us so Daunte don't get no justice. You gotta chill out. Where's his mama? Go get their mama. Debated. Hold the space. Hold the space. This is Daunte Wright's mother. Will y'all listen to her?
Will you guys please just stop? stop. We want justice for Daunte. We don't want it to be about all of this violence. We just want justice for our son, and this is taken away from that, because now this is exactly what they want you guys to do, so that way my son isn't being heard. And I need that to, this is my husband.
Your son's being heard, sis. Your son's being heard.
This shit gonna stop.
Your son's being heard. We're not playing about my baby.
Justice for Daunte, that's it.
Period.
We don't want all this extra. Let's get justice. We'll get justice for my son.
Justice for Daunte.
He was on his way to get a car wash. He was pulled over because he had air fresheners in the rearview mirror.
Car wash? How many of us get a car wash with air?
In some other news coming from London, our reporter Dave Nathan has been at the scene in Sydenham, South London, after a 17-year-old was found dead in the street. Detectives launched a murder investigation after a 17-year-old was found with stab wounds at 7:20 on Saturday. They were called to the junction of Hazel Grove and Sydenham Road. Officers attended with the London Ambulance Service, and what they don't mention in the statement is they attended with a film crew as well. People have said that this is film crew for the BBC programme The Met, but they don't mention that in the statement. Officers attended with the London Ambulance Service and a film crew and found a male with stab injuries. Despite their best efforts, he died shortly after. He has since been identified as 17-year-old Levi Ernest Morrison, and his family has been informed and are being supported by specialist police. A post-mortem was held on Monday the 12th of April and gave his cause of death as a stab wound leading to catastrophic bleeding. An investigation is underway and being led by Met's Crime Command. A 35-year-old woman was arrested on suspicion of murder on the 11th of April and remains in custody. Detective Chief Inspector Mick Norman said, "We are appealing for anyone who was in the area on Sunday evening to come forward to speak to us. Levi's family need answers and are devastated at the news that has emerged." And understandably, this must be very hard for the family to be able to cope with when these situations are so sudden, and it's the shock that really does devastate people. And then this other story about a Metropolitan Police officer that has appeared in court charged with indecent images of children. Detective Constable Paul Allgood, 60 years old, is attached to the Economic Crime Unit and pled guilty to 3 counts of making and possessing indecent images of children and 3 counts of outraging public decency when he appeared at Wood Green Crown Court on Tuesday the 8th of April. He's due to appear on bail at the same court on Thursday the 25th of May for sentencing. The court heard that on the 4th of June 2019, officers from the Online Child Abuse and Exploitation Unit executed a warrant at his address in Enfield, North London. Officers arrested him on suspicion of possession of indecent images, and 20 devices were seized from his home. Allgood was released on conditional bail pending further inquiries. The devices were analysed and indecent images were found. Of the 20 exhibits seized, 5 electrical devices, laptops, USBs, and hard drives had indecent images of children on. He was suspended from all duties in January of 2021. So he was actively working as a police officer nearly a year and a half following being charged with such disgusting offences. This information is even less than the last one. They will post a mugshot of a kid that's been charged for an ounce of cannabis, but they won't post a mugshot of a police officer that has pled guilty to such a gross misconduct and abuse of his power. So both of these stories I'm sure you had no idea even existed, and is another example of how they do not really promote these sorts of cases, when it is equally if not worse than when somebody who isn't a police officer commits the same offence. So really appreciate you joining me for these updates coming from London. Thank you to our reporter Dave Nathan and UK NIP at the scenes, and I'll be back again very shortly with some more news. Peace.